looks like we're doing a deep dive today. Deep dive into what you say. Let's find out in this episode at the Side Hustle to Win experience. This is where we get together to discuss issues that you really care about. I want to personally thank you for joining me in my experience to financial freedom and coming along for the ride. Please remember that I'm not a financial advisor and to do your own due diligence and research. Before I get started, please follow me on Telegram, t.me/sidehustle2win1, and also like my page on Facebook, facebook.com/sidehustle2win1. On there, I give some exclusive updates that I don't get a chance to make a video for, such as the fact that the new platform that I recently got into, NetPlay, has paid me the withdrawal that I made on Monday. So in this episode, we are going to talk about a deep dive into the new Bankroll Stack and Bankroll Life, and how those two contracts affect the price of Bankroll Vault, the token, going forward. So if this is the kind of content that you like more of, please like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post. Alright, let's get into a deep dive into Bankroll Life. Quick overview: you buy Life here, you sell Life here, you get your estimated daily dividends in ETH and VLT up at top, your dividends in ETH over here, total Life here, rolls or reinvest count here, the number of times you've done that, rewards in VLT here, total withdrawn ETH here, total times you rolled the amount of ETH here. Now, what is Bankroll Life? Bankroll Life is a long-term way to grow ETH from a community cooperative. Passively earn VLT rewards over time by holding Life. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but I want to first give pretty much just clarify a couple of things. I've had some people reach out to me and say they have a sticker shock when it comes to purchasing Life, and it's because of this. When you buy Life, 1 ETH equals 0.9 Life. Now, of course, 10% of the fees taken out, so that's why you're getting 0.9 versus 1 Life. A lot of folks are, used to getting a bunch of tokens for their 1 ETH. So when they see this, they're like, when I buy Life, it's less than 1. It's, even with the fee, why am I getting less tokens than I think I would have? It's because of this. Let's scroll on down. Bankroll Life is pegged 1-to-1 to ETH. So if you ever participate in any of the Bankroll dApps on the Tron side, it's set up the same way. 1 TRX equals 1 credits on the Tron side. 1 ETH equals 1 Life on the Ethereum side. So just push past that sticker shock, push past that. The value is still there, just the amount of tokens that you're not used to, because it's 1-to-1, okay? So, all right, I want to get past that. The second thing I want to talk about and highlight is this. The transaction, the dividends, and the dividend pool and how it works. So let's go ahead and take a read. A transaction fee of 10% is charged on buys and sells. And also, I want to mention reinvest, that is distributed as follows: 8% to the community ETH rewards pool and 2% to the community VLT buyback pool. Each pool drips 2% rewards daily. So there's a lot of percentages there, and they're not really sure what's going on, right? So I am going to help break it down for you with that side hustle perspective. Let's go ahead and pull up numbers. All right, so let's say you're player A, and you buy in with 100 USD worth of ETH. Okay, so that means 8% of your USD, which is 8 USD, goes into the ETH dividend pool. 2% goes into the VLT buyback pool. So that's 2 USD here. Now let's pretend, so that part is easy, right? 8's going into the ETH dividend pool, 2%, 2 USD is going to the VLT buyback pool. Let's pretend the current dividend pool in ETH value in USD is 92. Let's pretend the current dividend pool in VLT USD value is 48. So 92 plus 8 would be 100. 48 plus 2 is 50. And I'm just doing it for easy math. Easy math. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. So now the dividend pool in ETH is 100. The dividend pool in VLT is 50 USD. So what is 2% of that? 2% of 100? You guessed it right. I know it's not scientifically proven, but it's been said that my subscribers are some of the smartest people on the internet. So if you haven't clicked on the subscribe, you probably want to do that. All right, so 2% of 100, 2 USD. 2% of 50, 1 USD, right? 1% is 50 cents. 0.50 times 2, 2%, 1 USD. So this dividend value and this dividend value will be dripped to the players, and then depending on your proportion of that dividend pool, you get that. So I hope that clears it up for you, because people are saying 8%, 2%, 2%. Well, how does all of that math work? If you do easy math and make everything adds up easy, you can get a visual representation of what you think you should get. So I hope that clears things up for you. And there's one more thing I want to talk about. It's this. Another subscriber reached out to me. You know, if they're dripping 2% daily, is this gonna run out? I mean, you know, they keep drip, and how does this sustain itself? So I want to talk about, and yes, your side hustle did this. I went ahead and read the white paper. Yeah, I did that. I know nobody reads this stuff. Well, your boy Side Hustle does. And this is the reason why. I want to talk about this is because 8% of ETH from all live buy, sells, and rolls are distributed towards a player's dividend pool, which pays out 2% to all players on a daily basis, right? So then the reason why I want to highlight that is because of this. The daily basis of their current dividend pool. So let's go ahead and go back to our example. Boom, go back to numbers, right? Once this dividend pool pays out the 2 USD, next day you'll be at 98, right? And then we're going to do 2% of that. So let's just see if we can do some math here. 98 times 0.02, which would be 2%. Boom. $1.96 will be dripped into the players. So constantly, it's going to drip 2% of what's already there. It's not going to drip 2 USD every day, because that function will be reduced depending on the dividend pool growing the next day or growing smaller the next day. It doesn't really matter if it grows bigger or smaller. It's 2% of the current dividend pool at that time. That's the way I understand it, so you don't have a fear of it running out. So I hope that clears it up for you. Just remember, it's of the current dividend pool on that day. It's the way I understand it. I'm sure somebody from the Bankroll side who reads or watches this video is going to come comment in my comment section and say, hey, you know what, you got that right, or hey, you know what, you got that wrong. This is how it actually works. Because there's a lot of juicy nuggets of info in my comments. I learn from my subscribers all the time, and that's why I love and cherish every single one of you. All right, so let's go ahead and go back. That gives the highlights of the deep dive that I want to get into for Bankroll Life. Let's go ahead and talk about Bankroll Stack. And if you have any questions about Bankroll Life, feel free to leave a question in the comment section below. I just want to highlight those things because I've received those questions a lot, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to make a video about Bankroll Life and Bankroll Stack as they come out. But I got a docket of videos that I'm already trying to push out, and I couldn't put it in because I got other stuff. But of course, if you're, your bank teller or somebody on the Bankroll team say, hey, we got a marketing bounty, reach out to your boy Side Hustle, holler at your boy. I'm willing to put out, some video for you if that's the case. But let's go ahead and talk about Bankroll Stack. Now, essentially, instead of buying in with ETH, you're buying in with your VLT tokens. And it's a staking contract in a sense where when you stack, 10% of the fee goes in and 10% of the fee goes out. So Bankroll Stack is a long-term way to grow VLT even after mining has ended. Passively earn VLT rewards over time by holding STCK. And then same deal, estimated daily, your divs, your total stack, your stake percentage, the number of rolls, your total VLT withdrawn, the total rolls of VLT. The thing I want to highlight is this. Bankroll Stack is pegged 1-to-1 to VLT, where we know very similar. There's the 2% drip. I already talked about how that whole process works, so you should be very familiar with that. The highlight is this. Currently in the contract, the supply of 759,870,000 VLT. That's in a sense removed from the current liquidity pool and tied up into this state. So that reduces supply on the overall. So I mean, the total amount of tokens 1.8 million tokens, and you got almost 800,000 of those tokens staked in this contract, right? That means a little bit of over 40%. So that's naturally going to help prop up the price, because if the demand's the same across the board and you reduce supply, price will tend to have natural pressure going up. So that's the thing I want to highlight, is because a large amount of VLTs already locked away, staked here, and it's not gonna, flood the market with that. It's coming back out in a 2% drip slowly over time. So that part I like, that's good. And then the last thing I want to talk about. Here you see Mr. Bojangles, I see. So that's the life address that's ranked at 26 per BT. Cross the admin, yep. Here's the contract. And what does that mean? This is the last thing I want to highlight. It is the life contract that is buying VLT with that 2% fee that it charges when you enter into it. So let's go ahead and click on that. And that will show you the contract address here. So you see the contract address here. We're going to copy that. And then, the balance and then with all the transactions. But the thing is this. We're searching for it. And it's no longer 26. It's the 21st holder. So these are the top holders of VLT tokens. Just from the contracts launch under 4 days, around 4 days maybe, it's jumped into the top 25 or 21 essentially, the top 21st holder. That contract has bought up a ton of VLT with the trading fees, with the life fees. This is only going to get bigger, and you already have a ton of the tokens locked up here, and you have a whale that's gobbling up all those cheap tokens, right? The more people participate in this ecosystem of life, of trading on Uniswap, the more this whale contract is gonna gobble up the tokens. I mean, it's only got less than 1,000 VLT away from this next person, then it breaks the top 20. I would like to see what happens and that's a lot of progress, right? That's a lot of progress in a couple days. There's 582 addresses. So a little bit under 600 addresses, and it climbed up to number 21 in less than 4 days. I mean, that's huge growth. Of course, towards the end, it's going to be harder and harder as it catches up to the bigger token holders, right? But that is constant buying pressure, which what Bank Teller had talked about behind his whole, when he designed this contract, is to provide that natural buying pressure. So this, working along with Stack, is pretty much a beautiful ecosystem that's sustaining the price of VLT. So I hope you enjoyed that deep dive into Stack, that deep dive into life. Deep dive, I don't know if some of you guys like watching Etherscan and checking out the top holders and seeing what moves it takes, because there are some advanced strategies that you could employ, and I'm sure some of my subscribers, they know what I'm talking about when you do these blockchain analysis. The last thing I want to cover is just a little TA, and I don't know if you people like TA or not, but I'm just going to give you a little bit on the price of VLT versus ETH. If you go to, let's go ahead and go to, I'm just going to show you how you can see that. 3 stripes VLT, scroll here, scrolling down, they're going to say VLT, powerful charting and TA tools. When you click on that, it's going to bring you a chart of VLT. Now, of course, this is the standard chart. I added, what I added here is essentially the fib retracement. And for those of you that don't know Fibonacci, I'm sure a lot of my subscribers understand what I mean by Fibonacci and fib retracement. If you're into TA at all, that's a very powerful tool. And I've drawn a line, essentially a trend line. So let's go ahead and let's see if I can zoom this a little bit so that you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I've drawn a trend line from the peaks of the candle tops here, which has a nice touch of the bottom of the wicks of the candles here, and we're here right at support right now. So this has pretty much provided support once, twice, 3 times. That one didn't quite touch, that one didn't quite touch, but 4 times, 5 times, and now 6 times here. And there's also the peak of here. So this is a very important area. Plus, the reason why I highlight it is because it's very close to 0.618 of the fib. So this level here is crucial. It's shown to be very strong support, and I'm hoping for a bounce here, but if it breaks this level, then we're gonna see it take another leg down. But next level support will probably be around here to this box here on the 0.76 fib level. So I feel like if you're gonna take an entry point, this might be possibly a good entry point if it holds support here. Personally, the way your boy SideHustle trades, I like to see a bounce before I get in. But you know, some people like to take the opportunity to get in now before the bounce, right? I like, personally, the way I trade is a little bit different from everybody else. You probably have your own strategy. For me, I like to follow the trend. I like to see a confirmation before I do anything. Some folks like to get ahead of the curve, so they want to get in before the confirmation because there's more profits to be made there. So that's all depending on how you like it. Do you guys like seeing me do some TA? Because I know a lot of people don't like TA, or you know, if they want to watch TA, they go to another channel or watch another video. They just want to see the deep dives. Leave a comment in the comment section below if this is something you like. So I went ahead and give you what I consider the crucial points of Bankroll Vault, Bankroll Life, Bankroll Stack, how those two work together to help support the price of Bankroll Vault token. You've been enjoying the content in this video. Here are a few other videos that I think you'd be into. If you have not done so by now, please like, share, subscribe, and click on that notification bell. And as always, leave things better than when you found them and get your hustle on.